Right then, this is a quick walk around video of an absolutely stunning CR-V. This car's simply packed with extras. It's got the optional alloys, it's got the exterior styling pack with the extended front and rear bumpers, rear spoiler, auto cruise control, collision mitigation system, ivory leather. It really is lovely. It covered 71,000 miles, full service history, and it's in absolutely lovely condition. It's about to pour down, so it's going to be a bit of a scuttle round, unfortunately. Lights and lenses, all good and intact. Bonnet, very, very clean, with the extended bumpers and the spoiler. It's all subtle, but it really adds an extra oomph to the styling of the car. This headphones alloy, generally good. Some panel work, really, really nice. And coming in the back of the car, again with the rear spoiler. The lower section further down, it just gives it, just a more dynamic look. Really clean, really, really clean. The offside, driver side, and lovely and smooth down the panel work, really crisp and clean. Remaining alloys again, very, very nice. So I apologise, I know it took a bit longer, but it's starting to spit and it's going to pour down because it's got big black clouds behind me. But that's a lovely car. It's coming into boot, absolutely cavernous. These are, family cars, and they can be quite heavily used often, but this one's been kept really nicely. It's coming off the back, wide opening rear doors, enormous amounts of legroom, and you've got this gorgeous ivory leather interior, which again has been kept in absolutely lovely condition. Front of the passenger side, again, all very, very clean and tidy. Passenger seat there again. Very nice condition. Finally coming to the driver's side, door card again, really nice. Footwell areas likewise. Driver's seat for car of its age and mileage, really, really lovely condition there. Inside the car now, engine's running as always, so the dash is illuminated. The dashboard again, like the rest of it's just been kept beautifully. Sat nav, you can see working exactly as it should. Pop the car into reverse, you've got the rear parking camera that complements the front and rear parking sensors. Carrying on down. Just been kept really nice. Finally, just to show you there, dashboard binnacle, 71,835 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Almost forgot, there you go. Owner's manual pack and locking wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. The car is registered LT64BRZ. And with a mileage of 71,829 miles recorded. The reason we do these videos, as I always say, is especially this bit, the road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see that very car in operation. We, like many people, have been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out it had an obvious fault when you drove the car, and that can be hugely frustrating. So coming to the car, as you know from the walk around section, this is an exceptional vehicle, and driving it doesn't disappoint in any way, drives beautifully. Push button start, engine starts instantly, settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard, although one might ping on in a second because it's getting to the point whether the fuel light might come on. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. These are superb engines. Honda build the best four-cylinder engines in the world, there's no doubt about it. This is the toughest, most reliable engine in its class, always has been. They're cam chain driven, there's no cam belts to worry about. But almost more than that, it's just how it drives. It's a lovely unit, it's flexible, you put your foot down, you get that muted induction sound from the engine, but it's got a sweet edge to it. It comes from an engineering-led company. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Engine then feeds through into the auto gearbox, very slick shifting on the move. The gear changes are really smooth. You just don't feel any sort of jolting from it at all. The ratio is selected clearly to extract the best out of the engine, both in terms of fuel economy and performance, because obviously it's a compromise between the two, quite as is always the case, but they've set it up very nicely. You can operate the gearbox manually. You've got the little pedals here. You can do it on a temporary basis by using them on the move, or if you select S on the gear lever here in sequential mode, it'll hold it in those gears that you select. I'm going to be honest with you, rarely utilised. I have used it and it is quite handy, especially doing an overtake where you don't want the gearbox to suddenly change up, but 99.9% of driving, you're driving like this. Notwithstanding reputation for making lovely gearboxes, you should always do the same checks on any auto box. Just make sure the gear changes are actually smooth on the move, but almost more importantly, when you're stationary, when you select drive or reverse, just make sure it does so without any great sudden clunks or thunks with engagement. And in every single way, this gearbox is operating perfectly. Come to the steering and chassis of the car. Steering on the car, really nicely done on the CR-Vs. One of the most car-like SUVs to drive for many years. The steering's got a lovely weighting to it. It's absolutely pinpoint accurate. Reasonably quick for this type of car as well. But what I always loved about it is it works beautifully with the chassis. By the way, it tracks dead straight without any vibrations at all. But yeah, it works really nice with the chassis because with an SUV you're fighting physics because it's a taller car. So if you go for something, very softly sprung to give you a very, comfy ride only, you end up with lots of body motion, lots of sway. In corners like this, where you turn in, it would just keel over. The CR-V doesn't. It's got brilliant body control, but not at the expense of ride comfort, because it's a very comfortable car indeed. But you do go through the bends, all types, and I've driven hundreds of thousands of miles of CR-Vs. They are incredibly capable cars, which isn't to say they're sporty, because they're not meant to be. So ignore the buffoons on YouTube who seem to think it should be, because it isn't. Also noticeable by its absence, any clonks, rattles coming from underneath the vehicle. So all very, very tight and taut on the car. The brakes are superb, powerful, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the brake pedal. And then coming inside, as I say in the advert, this two-tone interior, the ivory leather, is hugely sought after on these, and for very good reason. It adds a lot. It just lifts your spirits inside the car. I've got a black interior in our CR-V, which I really like, but do I prefer this? Yes, by a mile. Dark, miserable, wet days, it doesn't feel as gloomy inside, and on hot summer's days, if you ever get one again, you don't get incinerated putting your legs on the seat with wearing shorts or a skirt or something like that. But what I like about that is it's tastefully done. It's not garish. Some can look overdone, but there's the colour split between the sort of trims, the black and everything else, it sits very nicely in here, and it's in lovely condition. They are also beautifully put together cars. 10 years old, there's not a squeak or rattle from the interior, and it's a lovely place to sit because you've got fantastic visibility all around the car, so you feel very confident driving it. Dash layout itself, even though obviously a very highly equipped car, the EX models, 2 days in the car, sorry, the traffic off and the radio off, a couple of days inside the car, you've mastered it. It's very, very simple and intuitive. I can't say that properly, I'm not going to even attempt to say that again. All working perfectly, of course. Sat nav, you can see, one of the nicer systems to use, very simple to use as well. Separate climate control system with dual zones, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you really want to, and that's pumping out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. Too cold at the moment actually. Heated seats, again, functioning exactly as they should. All of the switchgear has that very high quality damped feel that you get from Honda. And then you've got this lovely dash binnacle in front, simple, crisp, white on black dials, minimalist by modern standards, and all the better for it. And then finally this lovely leather-bound steering wheel. The one button you'll never find on a CR-V of this type is a four-wheel drive button, and this is a four-wheel drive version. Honda worked out very, very quickly that most people would be driving 99% of the time, as I am right now, where you don't need four-wheel drive on. So basically it operates a car for most of the time in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull a car along. Only if it needs to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it itself and completely seamlessly. You put your foot down on a bit of mud or snow, front wheels start to lose grip, but via the traction control system, and quicker than you could ever react, it brings in the four-wheel drive, a bit like someone giving you a push in the back, and it's brilliant. The advantages of the system are patently obvious. You know, you can use less fuel, you can get through your tyres less quickly, and you put far less mechanical stress through the vehicle as well. So much so that, you know, we've sold thousands over nearly 3 decades, and I cannot remember putting a spanner on any of them in terms of the four-wheel drive system. So it is a very robust setup. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it purely just to feedback on any issues there are, and there's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully.